Hey guys, how are you? So you guys have an exam on Thursday and Friday for Unit 3. And we haven't looked at this vocab in a while. So let's go over the vocab to create a study sheet for your exam. A blank says that two expressions are equal to each other and it has an equal sign. So inverse operations, distribute, isolate, equation, or variable. The only word in there that has an equal sign is equation. So an equation. Okay. Number 2. Blank are operations that undo each other. So by quickly looking at our words, the only one that has operation in it is actually inverse operation. And inverse means to undo or the opposite. So inverse operations undo each other. Okay. A blank is a letter that represents an unknown number. So what represents an unknown number? We say it all the time. Usually it's X, B, M, whatever we want. And that's a variable. So a variable is a letter that represents an unknown number. Number 4. Blank means to multiply a number to a set of terms inside parentheses. And remember, parentheses look like this. So it's talking about taking some number and multiplying it in parentheses. And that sounds like distribute to me. We take something and distribute it. All right, and number 5. To get a variable by itself means to, by process of elimination, the only thing we have left is isolate. So that's talking about having something like 4x equals 16. If I divide by 4, that's how I'm isolating x to get it by itself. All right, and let's move on. Solving and checking equations. That was the biggest part of this unit, and it's going to be your biggest part of your exam. So let's take a look. Which value of x makes this equation true? So just so you guys don't get confused, here is the equation we are talking about. And we want to know which value makes that true. You guys could either go ahead and solve it using the solving square, or I have some boxes here to show my work. I can do a do now, multiple choice method. I can back solve. So in this first box, I'm going to use x equals -2, and I'm going to plug it in, see if it works. So negative 9x, 3 equals 36. I'm going to take the -2 and put it where I see the x. So I have -9 times -2 plus 3 equals to 36. And then remember, because there's no more variables, I could take this whole chunk and put it in my calculator. And then I get -9 equals to -36. Nope, that's definitely not right. So let's try it again now with x equals -1. Okay, so I take my -1 and I'm going to put it where I see an x. Okay, this whole piece can go in my calculator. I just caught a little mistake, guys. This should be a -9 and a -9. And then when I put it in my calculator, I'm going to get -18 equals to 36. And that's not right either. It's not balanced. No, now we're going to try C. We have x equals -7. Okay, I substituted in my -7, and I put this piece right here in my calculator, and I got 36 equals 36, and that looks good to me. So that is my answer. On your own time, I want you guys to try D and make sure it really doesn't work. So guys, for multiple choice questions that give you values for x, one quick method is just to plug them all in, just like if we're back solving. Also, back solving is a good way to check your work to make sure your answer is correct. So let's take that idea and move it down to part 3, error analysis. It's what we've been doing a lot last week. So Mr. Gary's nephew was solving the equation. Let's highlight that equation for you guys so you don't lose it. 3 times negative 2x plus 4 minus 5 equals to 25. His work is shown to the side. His answer was x equals 3.83 repeating. Mr. Gary thinks he made a mistake. So let's try to see if he was correct or not. First off, if I'm plugging in a repeating decimal, I'm probably not going to be able to get the same answer on both sides, which means there should be a mistake. But let's check that out anyway. Okay guys, I took my nephew's answer and I substituted it into the equation that he was trying to solve. Now I'm going to take this big chunk right here, exactly the way I see it. I'm going to type it into my calculator. One thing, make sure this is the negative symbol, and then the other one by the 5 is a minus sign. So to make sure you get an accurate result. Okay. If my calculator was correct, I got negative 1.83 equals to 25. Now, that really doesn't look right to me. First off, they are unbalanced. So, Miss Singari's nephew was incorrect because both sides are unbalanced when we plugged in his answer. So let's help him fix it. Let's see where his error was. So let's take the original equation. And my first step is to distribute. I see some parentheses, so I'm going to distribute. 3 times negative 2x, 3 times 4 minus 5 equals to 25. So I'll multiply this out. I have negative 6x plus 12, a little bit of mental math here, minus 5 equals 25. And now I'm going to make a solving square. Okay, so now I'm going to have negative 6 on this side. I'm going to combine like terms on this side. Negative 6x equals 2 equals to 18. Divide by negative 6. Divide by negative 6. And x equals to negative 3. Now what I could also do is take this, plug it back in and check it to make sure it's correct. Let's go through his work and see if we can actually identify his error. So he distributed, which was correct. 3 times negative 2, that's right. 3 times 4, that's right. And he brought down everything else, that's good. And let's see, when he combined this or multiplied that, he got negative 6, which was good. Oh, but right here, 3 times 4 is 12, not 7. So his mistake was he added instead of multiplying. So that's something you guys got to make sure you look out for. Parentheses mean to multiply. And that brings us to the end of your review video. If you have any questions, please type them in at the end. If not, bring them to us in class tomorrow.